We are back now with Newcastle County Police Chief Elmer Setting, and we're joined also by, is it Crime Analyst? Would that be the right way to say it?
Crime Analyst.
Sergeant Mike Walsh, and we're talking about their data program called TAPS. And again, TAPS stands for?
It's the Targeted Analytical Policing System.
And what is it exactly?
It's looking at crime data, looking at call for service data, and using that data to make sure that we put the officers in the right place at the right time where they'll be the most effective use of the resources.
And when did this start?
I started it as soon as I became the chief. Our county executive, Tom Gordon, made it very clear that we had to use the officers that we had better. That in order to hire 50 or 100 more officers, you're raising taxes. We're not raising taxes. We can do it better by deploying. If you're just going to chase 911 calls, you'll chase them all day long, but no matter what the call is, it's already occurred. What you have to do is what Mike's talking about is drill down into that data, figure out where the quality of life crime is occurring, because the kids on the corner at 7 o'clock that we're driving by don't have time to deal with because they're drinking on the corner or they're peddling drugs or whatever. They're the kids that are creating a bigger problem at 9 p.m. But we could have stopped them at 7 and didn't. Instead, we're driving from 911 call to 911 call when this is a 911 call in the making. So we took some resources off of what I call the 911 treadmill. We formed teams to go into the areas that are hit the heaviest by quality of life crime based on whatever comes into our computer-aided dispatch system, and we put the officers in those areas. Mike's been successful in looking at the actual day, the time of day, the area, right down to a particular street. And now, as you can see, we have double-digit reductions in all crime in Newcastle County.
We've heard about these data programs, heard about it in New York to fight subway crime and crime in the neighborhoods, murders.
Sure.
You heard about it in Atlantic City, where they now have cameras out there that go off whenever there's a shooting to bring down shootings. But yours is quality of life.
Quality of life.
Why is that important?
You know, when you see the simple successes, we have a individual, and this is an actual case, and I love to talk about this. When we have a problem neighborhood where we've had multiple drug-related homicides, we have had multiple shootings, we've had officers calling for immediate assistance because they're being overwhelmed by crowds. We have a gentleman standing in his yard, urinating in his yard. We're not going to stop for that. We're going to keep going. We're going to go to the next rape, robbery, murder, because that's what's hot. That's what we've got to get to. But when you do it my way, and you go out there and say, we're in this area, and we're not going to tolerate any quality of life crime, and we stop the man for urinating in his yard, and you find out exactly why he's urinating in his yard. He has a loaded .45 in his waistband, he's got $7,000 cash in his pocket, and in his other pockets filled with crack cocaine, heroin, marijuana. He can't go inside and use the bathroom because he'll miss his customers.
And this is a real story.
This happened. This is about putting resources in an area and saying, you stay here and fix the problem. This is where our quality of life crime is occurring. And in the last 18 months since I've been running this program, we have 0 homicides in that neighborhood. We used to have homicides on a regular basis in there. But if you're not going to tolerate the guy peeing on his lawn, who isn't really just peeing on his lawn at all, seems like a nuisance, quality of life type of crime. But here he is with a loaded .45, which means he intends to defend himself if somebody's going to try and rob him. So he's either going to be a victim or he's going to kill someone. So you literally can say with pretty good confidence, you averted a homicide.
You said you'd been hearing about these broken window crimes, which is what they're called, for 26 years.
Yeah.
What gave you the idea to actually start going after them like other departments have not gone after them?
Well, you know, there are agencies out there that are going after them, and I'm a big fan of policing. I study it. I've looked at Memphis.
Going after them might have been the wrong term. Let me correct myself. Keeping data on it.
What encouraged me to do it is my original time in the police academy when I first heard about broken windows, about community policing, and it's always a lot of discussion about it, but do you see anyone actually practicing the broken windows theory? When you see Bratton in New York, that's the first time you see somebody saying, we're going to go after the jumpers going over the turnstiles into the subways, which sounds ludicrous. They have rape, robbery, or murder to investigate. But when you do go after the jumpers, you find out those are the ones doing the rapes, robberies, and murders. So we know this, but someone has to be brave enough to say, I'm going to take resources off the 911 treadmill, which people say you can't do that, and I'm going to put them in the areas where quality of life crime is occurring, broken windows type of crime, nuisance crimes. We're going to answer the nuisance crimes in the hopes that other crime drops. When you look at a 55% reduction in homicide and a 35% reduction in robbery and so on and so on and so on, even affecting property crimes, burglary is down 37%. You have, undeniable proof that this is working, that there's a reason you're going after quality of life crime.
We need to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about how you play a big part in what they're talking about when the Delaware Way continues.